Hello guys, Charles here and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to show you a relatively simple way that you can add some interest to your comping without needing to know loads of stuff about chord scales and all that sort of stuff. If you're already improvising over the changes as a single note player, this should be relatively simple for you to introduce straight away. Now all we're doing here is experimenting with using seconds to introduce tension and release to our playing. This is something I've been trying to kind of experiment with quite a bit these last couple of weeks, and I just want to share a few ideas with you today. Now the great thing about taking this approach is we don't need to veer too far away from the chord shapes we're probably already using. We're just making a little shift to introduce a second somewhere into the chord, very temporarily, before it resolves again. So let's look at a really simple tune. Let's look at Autumn Leaves. I'm going to do this in the key of B flat, which is not the real book key. It's going to keep it a bit visually clearer on the neck, I think, for the purposes of this video. So we're going to be starting on C minor 7. So playing Autumn Leaves in the key of B flat, it wouldn't be unusual for us to stick to these sort of shapes. There's C minor 7, F7 of some sort, B flat major 7 or 6, E flat major 7, A minor 7 flat 5, D7, and G minor of some sort, G minor 6 or G minor 7. So we're just going through that very common kind of cycle of fourths movement there, not using any particularly exciting shapes. Those are the ones I'm going to be basing my ideas around today. So the idea is this: wherever there's a chord tone, we can add a note below it and resolve that downwards. The exception to that is the root itself, but in a major 7 chord we can do that. Easier to show you than it is to talk about it. So let's take this C minor 7 chord. I can take that E flat, for example. This is a nice one to start with, is adding tension on the third. So E flat's my third. And I can add a semitone below that, which gives me a nice semitone, which I recently talked about in a short. And that falls downwards, it releases to the root. So I could have something like that, just to add a little bit of movement to that chord. Now by itself it's fine, but it really starts to be a bit more interesting when we do it a few times through a phrase. Now you don't want to do this on every single chord because that would be overkill, of course, but let's start by using an example where we use it in most chords. So if I've just done that, that might then want to go nicely down to an A, which is in our F7 chord. So I could have... So I'm just descending through the scale there, and now I'm on A, I can add a tone below that to get that resolution, tension resolution on the F. So that's the third A and the second of F, which is G. Now I've kind of got a little motif there which I can carry on because this tune moves through the cycle of fourths. I can kind of take that idea, which I'm going ba da 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 da. I can take that through every time we go through the cycle of fourths. So I could have. Now on the B flat, it's going to be the third of D and the second of C. I can carry on down my scale and have the third and second of E flat. So far I've got this. Sort of idea. Now on a minor 7 flat 5 I could take the same approach. It's going to sound a bit weird because I'm using the flat 2, but it'll still work as long as I carry the phrase through. Now on that D7 I need to know it's a D7 flat 9, so rather than using the F sharp and the A, which will still work, it's going to fit the harmony more if I use the E flat. So just using the thirds, this is what I've got so far. Something like that. that. So that's pretty simple. As you can hear, I'm just really descending through the scale. That's why, like I say, if you know how to improvise over this as a soloist, you're just using the same notes. We're not really doing anything extra. We're just creating a little bit of clash, a little bit of tension, and then releasing it. Now, like I said, you don't need to just do this on the thirds. That example was just using tensions on the thirds, but I might, for example, on my C minor 7, it's nice to kind of mix these up. On my C minor 7, I might want to put the tension below the 7th. So I might want B flat's my 7th of C minor. I might have the A going down to the G, which is the 6th to the 5th. That gives me the Dorian sound. That sound there is Dorian. So I've got, and I can carry that down to the F7, or double that G note. So I've got my tension on the 7 and the 6 on the C minor chord, and then back to the 2 and the 3 on the F chord. I can carry that pattern down. I could have my 6 and 7 in the B flat chord, which would be G and A. And then F and G tension on my E flat chord. On the A minor 7 flat 5 chord, I could have, again, a 6 tension, which is the F sharp drawn from the D7 chord, because really A minor 7 flat 5 and D7 flat 9 are interchangeable. I'm going from an F sharp down to an E flat, which sounds very juicy. Got my E flat and F sharp again for my D7 flat 9. And then back to my resolution. I like using a major 7 on this chord. So we've got loads of options there. The point here is just adding some non-chord tone and resolving it. And it can be really sparse. We don't have to be going... That seems a bit much to me, so instead we might end up with something along these lines if I try and experiment with a few of those ideas. Which to my ear is a pretty interesting comping pattern. I would certainly like to play over that. There's enough interest going on, but I don't think we've quite got to distracting levels yet, which is quite easy to do when we're comping. So something that would sit nicely underneath the soloist, and of course the soloist can always give us a little bit of the side eye if we're maybe overstepping our mark. Let me know some of your comping tips down below in the comments. Let's have a talk about it. I have great conversations here on the channel with you lot, so keep that up, please. If you did find this one useful, please do give it a like, subscribe, ding that notification bell, and share with any of your friends who you think could manage this little comping technique to spice up their playing. And as always, I hope you're all doing very well, getting plenty of practice in, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers!
Roll up, let me embed a story you'll never forget. A drip, drip, but drowning in debt now. You can't buy your way out, and I heard you find it difficult to cope well. Here by this bottle full of